At the party, my friend started teasing us, asking Marcus and me when we were finally tying the knot. I smiled at him, but he remained silent, awkwardly changing the subject. The friends who had been teasing us looked at me awkwardly, their eyes filled with apology. My smile didn't waver as I took a sip of my drink. I'm a procrastinator, but not a severe one. So I decided to let Marcus go, and myself too. Before we continue, subscribe to this channel, and let us know in the comments where you're listening from. This brief awkward moment quickly faded, and everyone at the party continued to have a great time. I joined in their laughter and fun, genuinely congratulating the two main stars of the day, my best friend Chloe and her boyfriend. My friends were teasing us earlier because, midway through the party, Chloe's boyfriend got down on one knee and proposed to her. Now, out of everyone there, Marcus and I were the only ones showing no signs of getting married. During a game, Chloe switched seats to sit beside me and quietly squeezed my hand. I offered her a reassuring smile. Back then, among our group, Marcus and I were the first to become a couple. Everyone thought we'd be the first to walk down the aisle. Who would have thought that after 6 years, we're still just boyfriend and girlfriend? As the party wrapped up, friends gradually left until only Marcus, Chloe, her boyfriend, and I remained. Chloe hugged me and whispered in my ear, "Grace, no matter what, don't compromise your own happiness." I hugged her back and smiled, "I won't." After watching Chloe and her boyfriend leave, I was about to get into the car with Marcus. But he was looking at his phone, not even glancing up. Harper's working late at the company, and her phone's out of battery so she can't call a ride. I'm going to pick her up. I nodded. Okay. I tucked my phone back into my pocket. The moment he mentioned Harper, I had already expertly pulled out my phone and started calling a ride. As luck would have it, right after he finished speaking, I managed to get a ride. He glanced at me. "You've had a fair bit to drink today. Get some rest when you get back. I'm heading off now." I hummed an affirmation again. As his car drove past me, I deliberately jogged a few steps away to avoid the exhaust fumes. A little while later, I received a voice message from him. Normally, I'd immediately pull out my earbuds from my purse to listen to his voice. But this time I was too lazy and just had it transcribed to text. "I'll be back after I drop her home. Don't overthink it." How rare. In the past, whenever he abandoned me for Harper, there were never any follow-up reassurances like this. I replied with, "K." The chat box showed typing. But he never sent anything. I didn't care. After making that decision earlier, I felt an unprecedented sense of relief. Before, because of Marcus's childhood friend Harper, I was constantly anxious, fearful of loss, and I became someone I wasn't. I had hysterically argued with Marcus countless times because of Harper, but he would just look at me coldly. "Are you done? I treat Harper like a sister. Her parents entrusted her to me, so I just look out for her a bit more, that's all. I arranged for her to join the company because she genuinely has the ability." Don't be so twisted in your thinking. If you insist on thinking that way, there's nothing I can do. It was the same old tired excuses, over and over. I could recite them by heart. After getting home, I didn't wait for Marcus and went straight to sleep. Just as I expected, he didn't come home all night. I had anticipated that. My phone buzzed with a message. "Last night, Harper's place had a power outage. I helped her out pretty late, and I didn't want to disturb your rest, so I didn't come back. But I booked a hotel room, I didn't stay at her place." He was always so open, never shying away from mentioning Harper in front of me. He believed that as long as he explained himself clearly to me, there was no problem. My phone chimed again. "I made a reservation at that restaurant you like. Let's have dinner together tonight." This was his usual cycle of blaming and appeasing. After explaining, he'd offer a sweetener. Whether I accepted or not, he'd automatically consider the matter closed. As long as he felt he had explained things, I shouldn't make a fuss anymore. Many times, when I couldn't take it anymore and yelled for him to clarify the issues, his eyes showed a complete lack of understanding, as if I were being unreasonable. So, often I would swallow my grievances whole, pretending to be mature and sensible to appease him. I replied, "Okay." Marcus could eat spicy food but didn't particularly like it. He would never usually suggest taking me there. I should have been happy. Yet, at that moment, I felt utterly indifferent. I assumed Marcus wouldn't pick me up, so I called a ride. It turned out I was right again. Marcus's company was on the way to the spot. And from inside my rideshare app car, I saw Marcus, with a faint smile, shielding Harper's head as she got into the passenger seat. My heart sank. I opened my phone. Sure enough, I saw he had sent me several more messages. Harper's coming to dinner too. She hasn't been eating well these past few days because of all the overtime. She doesn't like spicy food. I'll take you to that restaurant next time. We'll go somewhere else this time. I'll text you the address. I turned off my phone screen. I still went to the spot. Marcus had already canceled the reservation, so I had to wait in line. The place was packed. I waited an hour before I got a table. My phone vibrated incessantly, but I just focused on eating. This place was genuinely spicy. It even brought tears to my eyes. But I felt incredibly satisfied. It wasn't until I was paying the bill that I pulled out my phone. As expected, it was filled with over a dozen messages. Are you there yet? Are you throwing a fit again? Didn't I tell you I'd take you next time? Harper has a sensitive stomach and can't eat spicy food. You're practically family to her, can't you be more understanding? She feels so guilty she can't even eat. Come here quickly. It was all the same old tired excuses. But it was more than all the texts we'd exchanged in the past month. On the way back, I kept wondering, why did Marcus and I even get together in the first place? It seemed like it was the day he got his 20th rejection for investment in his startup company, and my design draft was sent back for the 35th revision by my boss. On a stormy day, we both ended up taking shelter in the same shop, and that's how we met. At first, it was just awkward small talk. By the time the rain stopped, we had already hit it off. After that, we naturally became a couple. I don't believe in love at first sight. I think it lacks emotional buildup, and even if there's love, it's fleeting and quickly dissipates. Yet, after 6 years with Marcus, I often felt lucky. I believed that amidst the vast crowd, I had found my destined partner for life through that initial love at first sight. But thinking about it carefully, were these 6 years truly the result of mutual love, or just my unilateral procrastination? Chloe took me out for drinks. She and her boyfriend were about to start planning their wedding and would be very busy, so she wanted to relax a bit beforehand. It was, of course, a perfectly innocent kind of relaxation. She couldn't hold her liquor well and got drunk quickly, but she was still rambling about wanting to take me home first. I felt a mix of amusement and heartache. My best friend, even drunk, was thinking of taking me home first, yet would always choose Harper between her and me. I reassured her, I'm staying at your place right now, so we can just go home together. These past few days, I had been wanting to properly sort out my relationship with Marcus, so I moved out. Chloe's boyfriend was away on a business trip, so she asked me to stay at her place to keep her company during her last few days of singledom. When I got her back to her place and moved her onto the sofa, she mumbled incoherently, Grace, throw away what's broken. Don't force yourself. Chloe and I had known each other for over 10 years. Even if I didn't say anything, she could see my inner turmoil. I smiled and patted her head. Just then, Marcus sent me a message. Are you done being mad? When are you coming back? When you're back, I'll take you to the spot, okay? You're an adult. Do you really think throwing a disappearing act every time you're upset is acceptable? For the first time, I didn't reply to his message. Chloe's boyfriend Ethan returned from his business trip, and it wasn't convenient for me to stay any longer, so I planned to leave. But insisted I stay and instead sent Ethan back to his parents' place. Ethan, looking helpless but doting, agreed and asked me to take good care of her. I felt quite embarrassed, but Chloe said breezily, It's fine, sis. You can stay as long as you like. 2 days later, she mentioned that Ethan had a college friend visiting from overseas, and Ethan was hosting a gathering with both men and women. She wanted me to come along. I knew she was worried I'd get stuck in my sadness. So, during the days I stayed at her place, she spent time with me whenever she could. I agreed, seeing it as a change of pace. The party was at an upscale club where Ethan held shares. There, I met Ethan's friend Julian, whom he was hosting this time. He wore gold-rimmed glasses and had a refined, scholarly demeanor. But contrary to his appearance, he was quite lively and sociable. With him there, the atmosphere never dulled. Everyone had a great time. During our chat, I learned that Julian was young and successful. Despite his privileged background, he started his own business, and his company went public within a few years. As the party ended, he offered tea. Oh, add me on WhatsApp. I looked at him in surprise, feeling a bit awkward. No matter what, I still hadn't broken up with Marcus. Julian smiled. Don't misunderstand, Chloe showed me some of your work. I found it both mature and inspired, and I wanted to ask if you've considered a change of work environment. I looked at Chloe, and she shrugged. I just showed Julian your work. What you do with it is entirely up to you. But I think you could add him first. It's not too late to decide after you learn more. I have to admit, my interest was piqued at that moment. So I scanned Julian's QR code. Grace. I turned my head and saw Marcus's face, filled with anger. 08. Marcus strode over, grabbing my hand and pulling me towards him. I hit the add friend button, then shook his hand off. He looked at me in disbelief, a cold sneer on his face. I thought you were taking some time to cool down and regret things, so I didn't bother you much. Looks like I really did bother you, didn't I? Yeah, Grace, how could you do this? Marcus has been so worried about you these past few days. Of course, how could Harper be absent at a time like this? Perhaps my half-smile provoked Marcus, as he said with a cold face, Harper and I are here to meet a client, unlike you. Marcus, watch your words. What's wrong with Grace being at our gathering? Chloe cut him off sharply. Marcus glared at Chloe with a dark expression, but then turned his attention to Ethan. Ethan, we're good friends, aren't we? You knew where Grace was and didn't tell me? You just let me worry for days? Ethan looked innocent. I was away on a business trip recently, I only found out after I got back. Chloe said coldly, what are you worried about? Grace has been gone for days, and I haven't seen you call me, or go to her company to pick her up from work. Marcus choked. I was just giving her time to cool down. Seeing that the other friends at the gathering looked a bit uncomfortable, and not wanting to make things or awkward for everyone, I said to Marcus, I'll pack my things and go back tomorrow. Stop making a scene. The moment I said that, both he and I were stunned. Because he was always the one who told me to stop making a scene. He held on to me, not letting go. Come back with me today, you can pack your things tomorrow. I didn't want to argue with him, so I agreed. Meeting's worried gaze, I reassured her, it's fine, don't worry. Arriving at the parking garage, I habitually opened the back passenger door. Marcus paused at the sight. You sit in the passenger seat. I looked at him in surprise. Harper was also shocked. Marcus, where do I sit? I get carsick. It's okay, I drive very smoothly, don't worry. Harper was speechless and could only glare at me with resentment. I didn't say anything more and got into the passenger seat. There was silence throughout the ride. Harper tried to strike up a conversation, but Marcus's replies were brief and dismissive. After dropping Harper off at her apartment building, Marcus turned the car towards our place. Grace, let's talk properly in a couple of days. I glanced at him but didn't reply. What was the point of saying all this now? He sounded a little irritated. Why aren't you saying anything? I rubbed my forehead. I don't know what to say. He sighed. I truly only see Harper as a sister. I don't think you need to be angry with me because of her. If you mind about the passenger seat, I'll be more mindful in the future. I'll give her a rideshare allowance so she can call a ride home herself. Anyway, her apartment building is very close to the company and in the city center, so it's not a big deal. Having had some drinks, I felt sleepy, and his incessant rambling only irritated me. At the same time, I felt a slight urge to laugh. Harper hadn't just moved, she had been living in that apartment building since she joined Marcus's company. After getting home, I received a message from Julian. He sent me information about his company, but didn't pressure me, only hoping I'd give it careful consideration. As I was looking at it, my phone was suddenly snatched away. However, in his agitation, he accidentally turned off the screen. He tried to unlock it with his fingerprint, but after several attempts, it wouldn't open and instead required a password. Naturally, he couldn't unlock it with a password either. Marcus's face was grim. You changed your unlock password and deleted my fingerprint? We haven't broken up yet. I looked at him calmly. Everyone should have their own space and privacy, shouldn't they? He stiffened, probably remembering that incident. That day, he was in the shower and his phone rang. I initially didn't want to answer, but it kept ringing, so I thought I'd tell the caller that Marcus was busy. But just as I picked up the phone and saw Harper on the screen, he came out and snatched it away. He accused me of not trusting him and arbitrarily invading his privacy. After that day, he deleted my fingerprint and changed his password. I took my phone back, ignored him standing frozen, and went into the master bedroom to retrieve my duvet and pillow. Marcus saw me, strode over, and stared at me. What are you doing? Something's come up tonight. I want to sleep in the guest bedroom, it won't affect you. He twisted his lips. So you don't even want to sleep with me anymore, do you? I remained silent. He brushed past me into the master bedroom, then slammed the door shut. I shook my head and walked towards the guest bedroom. However, just as I finished making the bed, he opened the guest bedroom door. He stood there, phone in hand, looking at me coldly. Come here, let me register your fingerprint. After saying that, he looked down at me, expecting me to pretend to be angry and wronged with teary eyes for a bit, then forgive him. Because whenever we had conflicts in the past, he would always follow his usual cycle of blaming and appeasing. But this time, I just smiled at him. There's no need. He froze, then after a moment, sneered, suit yourself. He slammed the door shut again and left. I slept very well that night. The next morning, when I came to the dining room, I was surprised to see Marcus sitting at the table, which was laden with a large breakfast. How strange, normally, he'd be off to work by this time. Considering I usually made breakfast for him, having him make it for me this once seemed fair enough, so I sat down. Seeing me sit, his expression relaxed slightly. I've thought about it. I'll arrange a different position for Harper, and I'll keep my distance from her from now on. I was out of line before, and I neglected your feelings. I'm sorry, but the way you're holding a grudge against me is also problematic. So let's call it even, no blame on either side, and try to make things work from now on, okay? Well, so much for enjoying this last breakfast. I put down my chopsticks and looked at him silently. The moment his eyes met mine, a hint of panic appeared in them. I'm off to work. Honey, take your time eating. I called out to his retreating back, when you get back from work today, let's have a serious talk. He stumbled slightly, then hurried out of the house. When he got off work, I received a message from him. Honey, I'm sorry, I have to work overtime these next few days, but there are several people here, so don't worry. I replied, it's okay. We can talk when you're free. He didn't reply again. But a little while later, he updated his social media post with a photo of him working overtime, and indeed, there were several people, both men and women, in it. This continued for several days. One day, he went out for a business dinner and was surprisingly brought home by an unfamiliar male employee. After the employee left, I sighed at Marcus on the sofa. So he did know what bothered me. In the past, whenever he was out entertaining clients and got drunk, Harper would always take him home. Once or twice, I didn't say anything. But when it became frequent, I brought it up to him, and he impatiently said that Harper was his secretary, so it was normal for her to take him home, and told me to think normally. Now he finally knew to consider my feelings, but it was too late. Although he came home very late, he would leave early the next morning, leaving only a prepared breakfast on the table. It seemed he didn't want to give me a chance to speak. Harper, of course, wasn't idle either. Her social media posts were a different story. Although it was the same scene, she managed to photograph it from an angle that made it seem like only she and Marcus were in the office. However, I don't know how Marcus found out, but by the 5th day, all of Harper's social media posts were deleted. Then I received a text message from an unknown number on my phone. Why won't you just let go? It wasn't me who couldn't let go. I gave a helpless smile, but also felt it was time to put an end to things with Marcus. I sent a message to Marcus, formally suggesting we have a serious talk. Marcus replied several hours later. I'm on a business trip these next few days, honey. Let's talk when I get back. As if that could delay the inevitable breakup. I didn't indulge him anymore, simply replying, running away won't help, Marcus. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. I won't disrupt my plans and wait for you indefinitely. This time, he sent a voice message directly. I really am on a business trip, honey. Harper isn't with me this time, believe me. Can we talk when I get back, please? I'll change, I really will. Listening to his voice message, tinged with a sob, filled me with a deep sense of resignation. It was too late, truly too late. I moved out of our place with Marcus. While I was at it, I also handed in my resignation at the company. I was preparing to accept Julian's invitation to pursue a career at his company overseas. While packing my things, I found myself reliving old memories multiple times. Even though I had decided to break up, seeing the items that held so many memories, I still couldn't help but feel a pang of heartache. So I didn't take any of those things with me. I only took my personal belongings. When found out, she again insisted I stay at her place. But she and Ethan had already started planning their wedding, and I couldn't impose on them at such a time. She thought I was being distant and was so annoyed she didn't speak to me for 2 days. After she got over being mad, she then spent time and effort helping me find an affordable short-term rental. After everything was settled, she said with teary eyes, once you're overseas, don't forget to come back and see me. I hugged her back. I will. Any holiday I get, I'll definitely come back to see you. She hugged me tight. Sweetie, you know what? I've been especially happy lately. I teased her, because you're finally marrying your prince, right? She shook her head. That's a different matter. I'm happy because you're finally free to be yourself, instead of just revolving around Marcus. Turns out, to an outsider, it was all so obvious. I hugged Chloe tightly. Thank you, Chloe. When I saw Marcus's call, I realized it had already been a month since I moved out. It seemed Marcus was finally back from his business trip. The screen showed countless calls and messages he'd sent before. Just then, another call came in, and I answered it. Grace, why are all your things gone? Did you move out? Where did you move? I'm coming to find you. Just calm down and listen to me. I'll arrange a different position for Harper right away. Please come back after you've cooled off, okay? He rattled off so much in one breath, not giving me a chance to speak. When he finally paused, I said calmly, there's no need. Harper is your accustomed secretary, there's no need to replace her. Also, I paused, then finally said, let's break up, Marcus. No, he roared. I don't agree to be. Break up. His voice then turned to a plea. Can we meet once? I know I was wrong before, I admit my mistakes. Please, give me another chance, okay? You can't just condemn me like this. Hadn't I given him chances? He once made me, with my sensitive stomach, save face by drinking wine offered by his friends, only to turn around and shield Harper from drinks at a business event. He once wrapped the scarf I had painstakingly knitted around Harper's neck, and when I questioned him, he called me petty. He once spent a seven-figure sum on a diamond necklace for Harper, but gave me complimentary earrings, claiming I didn't care about such things anyway. After all that, for me to have stayed with him until now, hadn't I given him enough chances? I smiled, saying faintly, let's part ways amicably, Marcus. Without waiting for him to speak, I hung up his call and blocked all his contact information. On the eve of my departure overseas, Chloe and Ethan held their wedding. Actually, it had been less than 3 months since Ethan proposed, which would normally be a tight schedule for wedding preparations, but had already handled many of the preparations even before he proposed. Chloe asked him, amused, what if I hadn't said yes to your proposal? How would you have handled all this? Ethan said foolishly, then I would have just kept waiting, waited for you my whole life. His words moved even the usually playful Chloe to tears. Watching the newlyweds exchange vows on stage, I thought of their journey of meeting and falling in love, then recalled the scenes from Marcus and my own 6 years together. At least my friend could find happiness, and that was good enough. Then came the moment for the bride to toss her wedding bouquet. I didn't know if it was coincidence or fate, but the wedding bouquet landed right in my hands. Grace. Marcus, dressed in a sharp suit, had clearly put effort into his appearance, but the weariness on his face was undeniable. After I hung up the phone that day, Marcus hadn't contacted me again. Although I worried seeing him again would be awkward, he and Ethan were friends, so it was normal for him to receive an invitation. When the wedding first started, I actually felt a sense of relief when I realized he hadn't arrived. But he came after all. I've been dealing with some things lately, that's why I'm late. I wanted to come find you, but Ethan and Chloe wouldn't tell me where you lived, and when I went to your company, they said you'd resigned. So I figured I'd wait until today, I knew I'd see you here. He pulled out a box, opened it, and knelt on one knee before me. Time was tight, so this is the best ring I could get right now. I'll buy you others later. Marry me, okay? I recognized the diamond ring in the box. It was twice as expensive as the diamond necklace he had bought for Harper. But looking at it, I only felt a sense of wistful emptiness. The people around us, unaware of the situation, all started cheering. Marry him. Marry him. Not wanting to spoil Chloe's wedding, I said softly, it's Chloe's wedding day. Let's not overshadow the bride. He seemed to grasp at a straw, saying with a tremor in his voice, then, let me put the ring on you first. I tightly clasped my left hand shut, not giving him a chance. His eyes reddened, and he started to ramble incoherently, Grace, I know I was wrong, I really do. I've already sent Harper back to her parents' town. That's what I've been busy with these past few weeks. I'll fix all my other mistakes, I truly will. So, please. He choked up. The people around us sensed something was wrong, and their cheers died down. I looked apologetically at Chloe. After all, I had ended up causing trouble at her wedding. Chloe shook her head at me, her eyes filled with approval. I knew she was encouraging me to stand firm. At subtle signal, Ethan and a few groomsmen pulled Marcus away. In a secluded corner, Marcus broke down. Grace, we've been together or 6 years. Are you really that heartless? I replied evasively, I'm moving overseas, Marcus. I'll wait for you. There's no need. It's not necessary anymore. I looked at him. I've found what I want to do. I won't be walking the path ahead with you any longer. I walked away as his cries of regret faded behind me. From then on, our paths diverged, never to meet again. Thanks for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.